All right, hello again, DFSers. We are going to be going over today our how to cook using the DFS system. Um, Now, a lot of people have their kitchen set up differently and everything else. I am using my own kitchen to show you guys, so my setup sometimes is a little bit different than others. So keep in mind, doesn't matter your setup. All that matters is the ingredients and the correct tools, and I will go over some of these tools. However, I will be doing another tutorial which will explain what tools do what, because some, like the stove, has what, three? I think it's either three or four different utensils you can use. I know the prep station has two separate ones, and so on. So we're going to cover that in a separate tutorial. So, but we will most likely touch base in this one because I have, like I know for my ovens, I have two different types of ovens and so forth. So just bear in mind with me there. Now, what we are going to do is I am going to show you one of the simplest things that you can make with DFS, and that is almost any of our ground items. As you can take a look down here, I have resers for each item that we can ground. We have sugar, cocoa, wheat, mustard, and cinnamon. I am out of cinnamon right now because I had just ground a bunch of it for apple pies. But we are going to take a look at that. Now, if you take a look, I remember what I was trying to do, but I forgot to turn it on because it always helps. Let me turn on my little thing here to highlight my mouse here because that always helps. Okay, come on. All right, here we go. So now we have my little highlight. If you take a look right here in chat, I did make it a lot bigger for you guys, so hopefully you guys can see it easier. I have the recipe for sugar right here, and that's what we're going to look at. Now, a lot of times, I know some people had the same issue I did. People get confused with the cooking when first starting. Like with me, when I saw, like right here, it says 5 dash DFS sugarcane basket. I thought that meant you had to put 5 baskets, or in this case, uses, into the hut. My daughter Sapphire was laughing at me for almost a week straight because I wasted so many beef carcasses trying to make steaks. I was trying to make raw steaks, and I wasted so many beef carcasses. However, whoever sold me all those beef carcasses at first must have really loved me because I probably went through about 50 carcasses before she's like, no, this is how you do it. So, anybody that's just starting out, do not feel embarrassed or ashamed if you make a mistake, if you misread something, if you do it wrong, because you know what? No matter how knowledgeable anyone is in DFS, they have probably done something just as stupid or maybe even worse. So do not be ashamed of your mistakes because we've all been there. So, so I am here to just help guide you through it. Now, as it says right here, it says slot item 5 DFS sugarcane basket. So what that means is open up your craft, just click on, let me close it, just click on craft right there. It brings up this grid. So that means you want to click on number 5. As you can see, it highlighted to red. You want to make sure that is highlighted, then click on your item. You get the menu here where you can set who can use it, you can cancel it, or you can cook. Now that that's highlighted, make sure the number on your HUD is highlighted first. If it's not highlighted, click on it again. Do not click cook yet. Make sure that this is red. So our number 5 is red, so we click on cook. Now you notice it's no longer red and the icon has changed. It has a little sugarcane stalk here. Now, we use mortar and pestles. Most mortar and pestles are laying flat. They're not up against the wall like this. For me, this just saves space. So we click on a mortar and pestle, and if you take a look, it tells you right down here, cooking crafted started with DFS mortar and pestle, and it tells you It's now making sugar. Now, a lot of times, if you're asking, hey, I followed the recipe, but it gave me an oopsie still, we will ask you, what does your HUD say? What did it tell you before putting it in? Now, if you take a look, starting right here, right after it says "sent for cooking" from the sugarcane basket, it says right here, slot 5, DFS sugarcane basket. That means the sugar went on the fifth slot there, and that's what we want to see. So a lot of times, if you're asked that, that's what we're looking to see from you, is what the HUD says. I'm gonna make a couple of recipes here on the video to show you guys, different kind of layouts here. The first two are going to be really super easy recipes. Only requires one item. Now, we have been talking while this has been cooking. I'm sure you've seen the countdown, and now it says click to receive. So all you do is you click on it in your chat. Right before you hear a ding, it's going to tell you your DFS sugar has finished cooking. Once you click on it to receive it, it's going to tell you ready. And then if you take a look, it sent me my sugar. And you see it right here in my inventory. So that is all you need to do to grind things. Now, I will give you a hint. All of these items down here, except wheat. Ignore wheat. They all go on number 5 on your HUD. Wheat had to be the oddball, and that one goes on number 7. So this is a very, very easy cooking part right here to do, is the grinding. Now let's walk over here to our meats, just on number 1. So again, we highlight number 1, so as you see it is red. We click on the pork carcass, we get the same menu. So since we are highlighted, we want to click on cook. You want to wait. I always wait about a second, as you usually when you click on something with the script and activate the script. In this case, setting it to cook, you get those little white dots. If you wait till those little white dots are winding down, and then click on your utensil, it almost always takes it in a matter of second. If you click there and then immediately click on the board, it will not take it. Let me show you. So we're going to click here, click 1, click cook, and then click the board. If you take a look, it tells me it started crafting, but it did not take it. But if the script isn't currently loaded, it takes it. So once you have clicked cook on the item, I say in your head count to 2. Just 1, 2, then click. And then you can go. Now, with something like this where it's really quick, really easy, you can just keep on going. I clicked on that one too fast. I didn't go with my own advice. So let's just keep on going, because what you can do is when cooking, you can sit here, you can mass cook. A lot of people, once they get really comfortable with cooking, they will start mass cooking. Now, as you can see, I have one ready to go right here. Let's put a last one in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this one. We are going to show you guys what an oopsie is. So we're going to leave this first one here. Now, the rule with oopsies is even if you do a recipe properly, you can still get an oopsie. The general rule of thumb is however long it takes to cook an item is how long you have to grab an item. So since this ham takes 1 minute to cook, once it's done, you have 1 minute to grab it. So let's go ahead, let's here. Whoops. Edit first. Let's bring that up. The oopsie can float. It's a magical, magical dish. Alright, now we just need to wait for it to res. There it goes. We need it to round out because oopsies are round, not square. There we go. And that, my dears, is what an oopsie looks like. It kind of looks like, like split pea soup. I mean, you have your ham here, you have that mushy green. That's what it reminds me of, is split pea soup. Now, here's the funny thing. If you ever need a laugh, of course, you can eat the oopsie. It's only 1 EP. But if you take a look and you click on eat, this is what it tells you. DFS oopsie, Wow, this is gross. Time for more cooking lessons. So it not only mocks you about your cooking. This is why I make Wolf eat all my oopsies. All right, so let's bring up the recipe for vanilla icing. That is what we are going to look at making right now. So with our vanilla icing, here we go. As you can tell, it takes 5 items right here. So we are going to put all 5 of these items. As you can see, it just goes in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have my own system of my resers. And so I have these all set out right here in order. So here is how we do this. So we will go 1, we will go 2, there's 3, there is 4, and lucky number 5. So as you can see, it says right here, whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, as you can see, let's avoid that from happening again. So as you can see right here, it shows how the HUD's supposed to look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all this down to here. So this way I can double check what my HUD says. So my HUD, vanilla basket, milk, butter, vanilla, and sugar, all in that order. We have vanilla, milk, butter, vanilla, and sugar. So that matches what the actual recipe is. So now what we do is we click on a prep station because that is what this recipe takes. And here we are cooking vanilla icing. Yay! Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to multitask. So that vanilla icing, it says 2, 3, 5, and 6. So this is kind of a harder recipe here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my chat right over here so I can still see my numbers. I'm going to click on 2. There's my pineapple slices. 3 is my butter. And then we go 5 for our raw ham, which is what we just made over there on those cutting boards. And then herb is 6. So we do our 1, 2 count, and then we click on our stove. So let's bring up our chat again. And if you take a look, it is now making that roasted ham with pineapple. Now let us move back over to our prep station and let's take a look. Now the great thing with that ham and pineapple is less oopsies. And if you still ever need help, we have our wonderful chat group that you can pop into and ask any questions that you might have. So other than that, while I wait for this to finish, I do want to thank you guys for joining us today. And I do hope that this has helped with any questions you might have. Let me click that because I love vanilla icings and I don't want that one to burn. And hopefully this helps teach you a little bit better on how to cook and maybe helps with some of that confusion. Like I said, I had a horrible time cooking when I first started. I got the fields, got the animals, got everything, but it was cooking that got me. So again, thank you all for joining us today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned in with some of the other wonderful videos I have planned. And I will see you guys in chat very, very soon.